止めたければ実力で止めろ。構えろ。これが最後だ。フェイトグランドオーダー、コスモス・イン・ザ・ロストベルト、黄金樹海機構、ナウイ・ミクトラン。物語なき世界に神が生まれる。
Hello everyone, welcome back for some more Let's Play Fate Grand Orders. We're heading to the 7th Stratum Mictlan. It's like a weird shimmering effect going on the screen. Do you see that? Am I crazy? It's definitely there. Whoa, I don't know if that's right. A little strange. There's been some weird shimmering going on. It could just be my emulator. I mean, my Android. Anyways, Terminal Observatory, Mictlan. I'm excited for this because this is where a certain super ancient Danos, whose name means in ancient, whatever language they're speaking, Crimson Moon. Oh. And that's the long and short of it. Difficult though the fight was, we all came through intact.
I see. Well done. My mind still boggles the mere idea of a mass of Googleanas. At any rate, that sounds like quite the ordeal. I can't tell you how glad I am that I wasn't there for it. As for you, Kukulkin, are you really the body of light that struck the border? It wasn't a figure of speech or anything.
No, it was really me. I'm sorry, I was just kind of acting on impulse. I mean, you know how it is when a cute little bird flies into your house, right, Director? You just want to give it a big squeeze.
That was well beyond a squeeze. For that matter, we are a beautiful phoenix, not some little bird. There are dozens of things I'd like to say right now, but I also don't want to interfere with my field team's on-site decisions. Tanner, Kyrielite, I'm counting on you two to keep a close eye on Kukulkin. If she starts acting suspicious in any way, throw something in her eyes or blind her and put as much distance between her and you as you can. Got that?
Evil fog maneuver? That should be pocket sand, come on. I really don't think we'll have to worry about her, but understood. A little tonguey.
Good. Let's continue with the operation as planned. You may also be glad to know that our repairs are continuing on schedule. We may not be able to communicate while you're in the underworld, but our connection is holding steady in the standard jungle. So don't just wait for an emergency to contact us. If you have any questions about anything, let us know immediately. Alright, that's all for now. Next time we speak, I hope you'll have good news for me.
Man, I had no idea Gordolf was such a worrywart. Is he actually more capable than he seems? Is he a reasonable guy? Oh yes, Gordolf Muzik has been an excellent director of Novum Caldia, and he's proven himself to be a talented mission commander as well. That's true. Servants are good at what we do, but on our own, it really just makes us a bunch of individual specialists. For us to work as part of an organization, we need a leader who can bring us all together. I wouldn't go so far as to say Gordy is perfect in the role, but he's always pushing himself to do the right thing. I guess he's what you call an unsung hero, but I wouldn't be surprised if he took center stage one day. I don't know if he'll ever do that, but we'll see. So he's a neighbor who learns and grows along with you. Seems there's truly no end of diversity among people from proper humanity. Bro, wait till we tell you about people with different skin colors. You're gonna be like, what's going on here? It's gonna be crazy. At any rate, it seems like this is a good time for a short break. Nito, Chris, would you keep an eye on our surroundings while I make camp? Nito, Chris? Something wrong? Oh, yes, camp. Good idea. I'll send out some spirits to get rid of any nearby threats. Nito, Chris, wait, if you send out spirits in all directions like that... Why do I hear approaching footsteps? Don't Danos run away from spirits? I remember the ones who saw Kamazot's spirits were all scrambling to get away as fast as they could. Those were normal Danos. The ones wandering around the jungle have lost their minds, so... This is why berserkers are so tough. Oops, this is your first time traveling in the jungle, isn't it, Nito Chris? I'm sorry, I should have known better. No problem. We'll just have to drive them away again. You've recovered all your command spells, right, my ally? Then in my capacity as a pharaoh, I will test your newly regained summoning skills personally. They're actually, like, not back? They're, like, gone? But the good news is we can now put 6 of them. Very nice. Well, I'm gonna choose Kukulkin, if possible, because When else are we gonna get? You're level 100 with all that stuff? Dang. Alright. Alright. As for other servants, I could be tremendously silly. And you know what? I think I'm gonna be. Meow. Meow, where are you? Let's go by class. Tremendously silly time. What am I looking for? Where am I looking for? Moon. These two side by side? Hell yes. You have 100% meter, so actually I don't want to do that. Let's give you Black Grail instead. Then actually, otherwise let's go, Bond. Again, keep trying to get some Bond ups here. You're pretty close, right? But I think I'd rather have attack with you. And then that. And then 8. And then there we go. So then we'll go Bond. Bond. Oh, we only have enough for a little bit there. That's fine. Sure. Why not? Okay. Very silly trio of characters for sure. Right? Okay. Let's do this. If we're fighting dinosaurs, I probably should have had the Ignore Invincible. That's fine. That's fine. What I can do is just have Xquic deal with them. We can still Noble Phantasm with her, right? I hope she's not like, oh, I'm not going to use it in the jungle. Well, these guys we can just deal with. A little bit of this. Okay. Isn't it kind of insane we currently seemingly have 2 archetypes on our team? Isn't that kind of wild? I doubt we'll get it, but I honestly wouldn't be surprised if for the end of FGO we get V, right? Type Venus. I wouldn't be surprised at this point. I just think they would be like, yep, put her in, you know. We already have references to Angel Notes. Why not? God, a Notes collaboration would go so hard, though. We keep approaching it, but never touching it, which I think is amazing in its own way. So, we're going to have you do a Xquic smash. This honestly might just kill this group here. Oh, it's different? How is it going to be different? Maybe it's because it's like not the NPC version, but like the regular servant version. I bet you that's what it is. Yeah. That's fine. Yeah, having you have the Ignore Invincible is real nice. More Dino. Because you have 4 left. Okay, let's just maybe... You know what? Let's lock these cards. Right? Because these are actually pretty decent. Let's do more attack on yourself. Let's do... Yeah, and let's just go... 1, 2, 3... I nearly just killed you already. Good. Okay. Let's go with this. And let's go... this. And let's go... 1, 2, 3. There we go. This is such overkill. The power scaling on this team alone is so crazy. And my god, we're gonna fight Ort, huh? You guys are getting real close. You're not there yet, but you're getting close. It's also very fitting that we picked our own archetype Earth here. The battle is over. The Danos who lost their minds are heading our way. Away, not our way. There, see? This was a perfect opportunity to verify you have indeed regained your summoning ability. Exactly as I planned. Nicely done, Tanner. Thanks, but I still can't use the command spells themselves. Yep, you might have gained your ability to summon heroic spirits, which proves you're a master. But it looks like you're still unable to activate your command spells. So while you can once again summon servants, you still can't use your command spells to empower them. Leave some gaps in your ability as a master. Maybe it'd be more accurate to call you an apprentice master of sorts, or even just a summoner. Actually took a look at some of the records from the first Underworld to see how you ended up like that. And I think you said you made a deal with a mysterious guy in a place in order to come back to life, is that right? If so, you could be stuck like this the whole time we're in Mictlan. Alternatively, you just need to teach whoever made this deal with you a lesson. Since Camazot's had your command spells, it stands to reason that he's the one you made the deal with. I think it was Tezcatlipoca from Mexico City. Camazotz did mention having made a deal with Tezcatlipoca. That would mean that this mysterious person you don't clearly remember was Tezcatlipoca. The bastard in his sunglasses. I knew it. Good. That's yet another reason to kick his ass. All that aside, doesn't it seem there was an awful lot of mindless Danos earlier? They have a nest here in the 7th stratum or something? No, nothing like that. The 7th stratum is just a comfortable environment for them. For most Danos and a Salaman, this is a dangerous environment where one false step can kill you. Part of that is because Camazotz, the god of death, lives nearby in the 8th stratum. It's also because the 8th and 9th strata are filled with poisonous gas and dangerous cosmic rays. No living creature can easily enter those strata. They're just too deadly. Oh, so that's why the drone we sent to the 8th strata malfunctioned and stopped working as soon as it entered that area. That probably means a tree of emptiness is the bottommost strata then. I can't think of anywhere else it would be. Okay, that takes care of the campfire. How about we can the chatter and get the camp set up? I've got 2 tents here. One's for Master Da Vinci and the other's for Tanner. They're all flesh and blood people, so they need a proper place to sleep. Needless to say, I'll be fine with a bed of grass. I love sleeping on good hard ground. I'm flesh and blood too, you know. You servants turning into spirit forms is no fair, no? Wanna stay in my tent then? Oh, good point. You trusted us enough to tell us that you were the one who attacked the Stormborder. So as one of our trusted companions, it's only natural that Master would offer you a space in his tent. Only natural. Thanks, but that's okay. I'll just sleep on the ground like Tepu. I'm not quite been around for a year, but I think being alone in a tent with a guy would be a bit much. I mean, if I lost control of myself, then Mictlan would really be finished, yes. Damn it. Alright, that's fine. I was expecting Mash to be like, no, I'll take his place, but she would never say that. She would never say that, unfortunately. Maybe one day she'll get there. But that day isn't today. Alright. Oh, it's story time. You know I like a good story time. When it says no battles, your boy gets excited. I know some people are like, ugh, what do you mean there's no gameplay? I'm just reading. What is that big old net? What the frick? Is that the observatory? I made it up. I can't believe how tall it was. A natural biosphere. This is more like a nature preserve than an observatory. It's not like the rest of Mictlan either. This place is straight out of Cenozoic era proper human history. I'm not surprised. The Maya has no influence here. This is where the planet Sense of Touch was dispatched from the Inner Sea, the place where the elementals that exist in proper human history were born. So since the god filaments didn't create this part of Mictlan, it makes sense it'd be closer to the environments you're familiar with in proper human history. The planet's inner sea is in Avalon? Yep. If we think of the planet as a living being, the inner sea is a place for its heart that's guaranteed to exist. Yeah, so Avalon and the inner sea and where Archetype's castle is are the same place. You know about reality marbles, right? They're essentially a mage's inner world made manifest, a powerful spell that lays their own mindscape over reality, even if only for a moment. Well, the planet's inner sea is like that, but for Earth. You can think of it as a reality marble the planet itself possesses. Well, that explains everything. I had a question of, is it a physical place? And I'm happy to see that it's not. That being said, Earth is a big place, and even human hearts contain multitudes. For example, the part of its heart that remains close to human society, or the part that has a few bones to pick with it. Oh, there's like different versions. Avalon is just one of several possible sides of that heart, one that prefers nature and eschews connections to human society. So elementals born in worlds like that are essentially clones of the planet itself, right? Kukulkan, a moment ago you mentioned the planet's sense of touch. These feelers are born in the planet's inner sea, make their way to the Earth's surface, and ultimately return to the inner sea. But if for whatever reason they are unwilling or unable to return, they become fairies, elementals, and divine spirits on the planet's surface. Yeah, though of course some fairies, elementals, and divine spirits manifest in other ways, so we can't say that's how they all came to exist. Meanwhile, there are some elementals who can only have been born in the planet's inner sea. These special spirits are known to be the planet's brain. Since they have hearts, why not brains too? Anyways, these elementals born from the Earth's earliest memories, which they can inherit themselves, continually dream about things taking place on the planet's surface. In the Magecraft world, these beings are known as archetypes, and the one up ahead is an incredible recorder of history. So this being knows the history of life on this planet long before the first humans were ever born. But I've also heard that archetypes take on the form of the dominant species from that age. This may be a Lostbelt, but we mustn't forget a Lostbelt is a hypothetical alternative to proper human history, in which case, might this archetype be humanoid like us? I think Tepu can answer that. Right, Tepu? Used to be a researcher here, no? Oh, they know each other. Now think about it, right? He did say. Yeah. Wow, thank you for not even saying it. That's great. That's correct. I am Tepu the Stargazer, you know. I've made the trip between Chichen Itza and the Seventh Stratum countless times. I've never heard of an archetype before, though. This must be another bit of knowledge the cryptor brought over. Well, I get the sense you've known the term for a long time, Kukulkan. I'm sorry. Feelers alone weren't just enough to convey the concept clearly. Man, words are perfect for this stuff. The Maya watch over us. They keep their opinions entirely to themselves. I'm surprised that Kukulkan, the teachings of the sun herself, would be bound to a rule like that. Oh well, I couldn't fail to note that I'm calling it Shakish. I'm calling it Shakish. I don't care. That Shakish isn't like the other Danos. I also suspect that a Mictlan archetype is a different one from one in proper human history. Mictlan itself is already much like the planet's inner sea. It's closed off from both the surface and outer space, unaffected by change. For the archetype born here must feel positively suffocating since she'll never get to see outside it. Huh? Wait, huh? A picture is worth 1,000 words, right? Let's keep going. You'll see what I mean once you meet her yourselves. Oh, and a word of warning. Under no circumstances should you adopt a combat stance, no matter how surprised you may be. This archetype is both highly sensitive and easily hurt. If we scare her off, she'll be useless for at least a few days. Whoa, this doesn't feel like the archetype Earth we know. This place is lovely, actually. What a lovely little place. With roots that really bound together quite a lot, like what's under the Lumina in Tsukihime Remake. I see the inside's full of water, too. Hello, Shakish. I brought guests from Proper Human History here to see you. They have some questions they'd like to ask. Could you please come out now? Please try to get past your shyness. They'll find you quickly enough anyway. You're not hidden nearly as well as you think. There's a Proper Human History saying that says, when you cover your head, don't leave the bottom exposed. Well, we can see your bottom. That is your tail quite clearly. Nuh-uh. Ugh, you're so mean, Big Brother Tepu. I was just working up the courage is all. Okay, here goes. I'm gonna welcome our guests properly, just like a good shrine maiden would. Yeah. Yep. There's your archetype Earth. There she is. There's Arquid. Yep. Okay. Hello, everyone. So nice to meet all of you. Thank you for coming all the way from Chichen Itza. I'm Shakish. My job is watching over Mictlan's journey from here in this moon plateau. There's so much I don't know about the wider world, so I might say the wrong thing now and then, so please bear with me. She. She's huge! She is kind of. Um, yeah, that's not a pop-off moment for me. I know about it. A Diplodocus! You're an actual Diplodocus! Your species with the largest herbivorous dinosaur on Earth. Only you're even bigger than the ones from proper human history. You must be at least 60 meters from head to tail. This is amazing! Thank you, child of proper human history. You have a lovely voice, just as I thought you would. Huh? You know who I am? Did Kukulkan tell you about me? No, I saw you myself. I can see all the way to the second stratum from here, in fact. But unlike Kukulkan, I couldn't hear your voices, so I never learned your names. Would you mind introducing yourselves now? God bless skipping ahead in time. Thank you. Tanner, Mash, Habitrat, Da Vinci, and Nitocris. Even the sounds of your names are unlike anything found here, but they're all so beautiful. I'm glad to have had a chance to hear them for myself. Thank you, Shakish. I think your name is beautiful too, even if we're saying it completely wrong. Also, I hope you don't mind, but I noticed you called Tepu Big Brother earlier. If it's not too rude, may I ask what your relationship is? Oh my, my. That you even thought to ask the question tells me we are getting along wonderfully, Mash. As for Big Brother Tepu's and my relationship, we're just acquaintances. We met when I first came to this observatory to study the stars. Don't take her calling me Big Brother seriously, that's just something she does. It's honestly kind of absurd. Jakisha's 6 million years old and I'm only 1,000. I figured Danos were long-lived, but wow. I see. So why do you refer to Tepu as your brother then, Shakish? Because ever since we first met, he's been bossing me around. I'm something of a special Danos, you see. Most Danos never come here because this observatory means nothing to them, but Big Brother Tepu kept showing up unannounced. A lot. He also said I was a good-for-nothing and a waste of space. Also a lot. I did not. Now would you please stop with the unnecessary small talk and do your job as the eye of the observatory? There, see? He's always scolding me like that just because he happens to know lots of things. Is this one of those? Yes. He's a typical Big Brother figure who acts cold on the outside but still comes to check on her out of concern. I swear. When are you gonna finally grow out of such childish nonsense? Never. You know as well as I do that I'm eternally 1 year old. That's weird. Don't like that. Well, I suppose that's true. Since you were born as an extension of the planet's sense of touch, you'll never grow or mature mentally. That's why you refer to me as your older brother. From your perspective, everyone will always be older than you. Alright, music, stop! Alright, Tanner, Da Vinci, go ahead and ask Shakish what you'd like to know. She sees everything that happens in Mictlan, so if anyone knows what Daybit has been doing for the past year, it's her. Daybit? You want to know about Daybit? That's right. Do you know him? Oh, yes. He came here almost immediately after he first arrived in Mictlan. He told me to tell him the truth about Mictlan and its history and to do it in 5 minutes because he didn't have time to spare on us. I knew he was a visitor from proper human history, but I also didn't have any reason to refuse, so I told him what he asked for. In proper human history terms, that was exactly 1 year ago. That does match the time the cryptid first showed up. Hold on. you knew about proper human history in the Lostbelts before the crypto arrived, yes? Then why didn't you do what he asked? From where you stand, anyone from proper human history would be an invader. Good question. As an archetype, I was aware Mictlan is not Earth's true environment. I could also foresee that Daybit would use the knowledge gained from me to form the Ocelema and begin hunting Danos. That's very sad, of course, but it's also still no reason to refuse him. Everyone has different worldviews, principles, and values. No two people think exactly the same way, and reaching true mutual understanding almost never happens. That's why everyone must be treated equally. We all know it's wrong to disregard other people's time, ideals, and lives just because they live far away, or because you've never met them, or have no connection to them, or won't be to your benefit. This is the code of ethics for dealing with life we Danos have arrived at a very, very long time ago. We don't discriminate, either positively or negatively, toward anyone, regardless of how strong or weak they might be. Danos treat all forms of life equally. After all, a society where only special people are given special treatment would simply be wrong.
Could you imagine that? We're being a special person. Could you imagine that?
I sure can't. I sure can't. As I thought, seems she's deeply impressed Mash. Yes, Shakish complied with David's demands, which is why she'll do the same now for you. Now, let's get down to business. What has David been doing, and what is he planning next? There's no need to discuss anything else. It's not like you to be so impatient, big brother Tepu. If you want to know David's objective, then you should also know what he asked me. Isn't that how you would normally approach things like this? Oh, good point. That information is definitely crucial, and I'm also interested in hearing it. Is something wrong, Tepu? You've been kind of restless ever since we got here. Have I? I suppose I have. I must have gotten more worked up than I realized over being back in the observatory after such a long time away. All right, I'll leave the questioning to you, Da Vinci. In the meantime, I'll go prepare the popal ritual. The popal ritual, okay. I don't think Tepu's irritated as much as he's, suffering. All right, guess I'll handle the questions then. You said Daybit asked you to tell him the truth about Mictlan and its history, right? Our understanding is the Lostbelt began when the dinosaurs became the dominant species. No, well, that's not quite right. It began with the fifth of the Big Five, the meteorite collision that wiped out nearly all life on Earth's surface. Afterwards, the filament-like alien life forms that came here on the meteorite restored the land after everything had burned down. And then they chose the dinosaurs to serve as their hosts and used them to create Mictlan. That's our current working theory, anyway. Are we on the right track? Oh, you're too precious, Da Vinci. I'm amazed you've been thinking about things that happened in the time long before. Anyway, yes, that's all correct. While some of the finer details differ a little, in proper human history, the filaments came to Earth on the meteorite that crashed into the Yucatan Peninsula 66 million years ago at the end of the Cretaceous period. But in this Lostbelt, the meteorite that crashed here with them about 300 million years ago at the end of the Carboniferous period. The filaments that came here from outer space ended up stranded here, called the Maya in our native tongue. When they first landed, they used a network of plant roots to stabilize the supercontinent of Pangaea and keep it from breaking apart into smaller continents. So this Lostbelt actually started 300 million years ago, back when Pangaea still existed. 300 million years ago? Before even the third of the Big Five took place? Oh wait, so that's why Tanner was talking about the Carboniferous period before. Okay, that makes a lot start to add up. In proper human history, 95% of the Paleozoic era aquatic life went extinct during the transition from the Permian period to the Triassic period. This is when the dinosaurs stepped in as the dominant life form, since they were better suited for the environment. After that, Pangaea split apart into the Laurasia continent to the north and the Gondwana continent to the south, which scattered the dinosaurs all across the world. But if Pangaea hadn't fractured, then the dinosaurs' paradise would have had much greater opportunity to flourish. And as long as the dinosaurs remained at the top of the food chain, there would be no chance for mammals to evolve into intelligent life. So that was how Mictlan began. How the Maya's early arrival changed this world so dramatically. But what about the fourth extinction event at the end of the Triassic period? And the meteorite that crashed into the Yucatan Peninsula at the end of the Cretaceous? Wouldn't either of those have prevented this Lostbelt from occurring? I don't know about the fourth and fifth extinction events from proper human history, but Mictlan did have a fourth one. It was 66 million years ago at the end of the Cretaceous period. the same time as the fifth extinction event in proper human history, the Yucatan Peninsula meteorite. Once again, a meteorite collided with this planet, burning everything on the surface and threatening the dinosaurs with extinction. That's when the Maya came to the rescue. The Maya foresaw the meteorite's impact and built a shelter deep underground. They then collected all the energy on the surface of the Earth and redirected it to create a subterranean paradise. All the heat and energy they would have otherwise gone into restoring the surface over the next million years went into creating Biosphere 3. The result is the Mictlan we have today. 3? Biosphere 3? Since then, and for the last 66 million years, Mictlan has been a world for the Danos. I can barely imagine timelines past a few thousand years, let alone millions. Yeah, this stuff is way above my head. I'll have to have Mash give me a very short summary later. I see. So that's why the surface was still post-apocalyptic. The seas were dried up, volcanic activity is out of control, and the skies were covered by dense thunderclouds. And it's all because the energy that would have normally gone into letting nature take its course went into Mictlan instead. So here, over the course of almost 100 million years, the Maya gained control over the Earth's surface, but that would have never happened in proper human history. In proper human history, the meteorite that carried the Maya was the one responsible for the fifth extinction event that happened 66 million years ago. That meteorite wiped out the dinosaurs and caused more huge changes in Earth's ecosystems. That led to mammals taking over, and over the next 40 million years, humankind's ancestors were born. The Maya had their fibers for maintaining their own environment, and so by becoming part of Mesoamerican myth, they chose to coexist with its people. The Maya might have been the Dano's savior, but it sounds as if it was a little more complicated for the Earth as a whole. I mean, they basically took a significant portion of the Earth and fashioned it into a home for themselves. As an archetype, what do you think about that? Does it feel like you were robbed or something? What, like, curse you, you damn invaders? Not at all. The planet seems to be quite happy as long as life is flourishing, regardless of what form it takes. Besides, if we're talking about invaders, there's one that that label fits much better. In fact, that invader was the impetus behind Mictlan's creation. In proper human history, the Maya were responsible for the Earth's fifth major extinction event and created the Yucatan Peninsula's mythological world. But in our Lostbelt, something else was responsible for the third major extinction event, a meteorite that burrowed its way deep below Mictlan. Like the Maya, it was an invader which arrived 66 million years earlier than it should have, owing to a slight deviation in its course. A planet-eating monster that came here from the Oort cloud that in the far reaches of the solar system. Oort. Again, I never heard of the Oort cloud until this game, and people were like, you didn't study the Oort cloud in school? And I'm like, no, you need to realize curriculum is very different where you're in the world. It'd be nice if someone made a timeline to keep track of all this. So Oort came to Mictlan early, but then the Danos should have never prospered to the extent they should have. Wait, I've got it. Oort must have died in the impact. That's why no one can find it here no matter how hard they look. No one's ever seen it because it's already dead. Oh no, Oort went on quite the rampage after it arrived. It actually completely destroyed Mictlan once. You're kidding me. Oh man, I was completely off again. But then how in the world did the Danos survive? Please tell me, Shakish. Oh no, you're adorably smart, Da Vinci. That guess was almost entirely correct. Oort did die when it fell to Earth. It just doesn't die the same way most living things do. 60 million years after Oort first fell to Mictlan and ceased to function, it suddenly began to function again just when the Danos finally arrived at their ethical approach to dealing with life. This was our world's fourth major extinction event. It was also when Earth gave birth to me. And so, all life in Mictlan banded together to defeat Oort, and they succeeded. The end. But even though it was defeated, it doesn't fully die, does it? So this world did already have its fourth major extinction event. That must mean the Oort attack Tanner and Mash saw in Mexico City will be the fifth. I see. Now I understand. Mash, would you summarize all that for us? Yes, gladly. It'd be too confusing to cross-reference Mictlan's history with proper human history, so I'll just make a timeline for this Lostbelt alone. Mictlan's history. 300 million years ago, Lostbelt begins. The Maya fell to Pangea on a meteorite and stabilized it with a network of plant roots. For the next 100 million years, Earth is a paradise ruled by dinosaurs. 66 million years ago, the third mass extinction event, the Maya detected a meteorite, Oort, heading toward Earth. The Maya create Mictlan underground, along with an artificial sun. Why is that red? Red text is bad. They evacuate all life from the surface to Mictlan. The meteorite, Oort, punches through the surface to Mictlan, embedding itself in the lowest stratum. The impact caused it to stop functioning. 20 million years ago, Mictlan is thriving. Proconsul, ape precursors of humanity, are born in Mictlan as well. 6 million years ago, the fourth mass extinction event. Ort reawakens. Xquic is born. Ort is shut down. 1 year ago, proper human history culture leak. The cryptor leads a cultural invasion which the Danos welcome. Now I see. Great work, Mash. That was all very clear. Oh no, compared to Xquic, I may as well be minuscule Kyrielite. So, what was with the parts literally marked in red? Oh no, Xquic added those. She said they were important. Okay, now I've got a pretty full picture. It's clear that Ort does exist and is still a threat. No wonder Daybit asked you about all this. Okay, now we're on equal footing in terms of information. Oh no, I didn't tell Daybit any of this. I was going to, but he said he didn't need to hear it because he already figured it out himself. What? Hang in there, Da Vinci. What did Daybit ask you? The location of Ort's remains? No. He asked me if the sun had ever gone out. As in Mictlan's artificial sun? Well, how do you want to know if it had ever gone out before? It must have to do with the Selman's belief that human sacrifices can revive the sun. Now I see. I thought it was just a recreation of the Aztec mythology that Tezcatlipoca spread here. But if the sun really has gone out before, that would definitely explain the Selman's religious fervor. Tepu even once told us that Mictlan's sun went into a hibernation of sorts for a time. So what did you tell him, Xquic? The truth, of course. I told him that 6 million years ago the sun disappeared around the time Ort resumed functioning. And I told him that was when the Ka'an kingdom, the non-Dino civilization that was also flourishing at the time, died out. Hold up. Ka'an wasn't a Danos nation? This is the first time hearing about it. So you're saying that a long time ago there used to be another non-Dano civilization here besides Mexico City? That's right. That's why I added the part in red about the proconsul being born earlier. For 100,000 years, a human kingdom flourished in Mictlan too. They were much weaker than the Danos, but they had a great talent for engineering. Towards the end of their kingdom's life, they built a flying ship very similar to your Stormboarder. That ship is the only reason Mictlan was able to fight back against Ort. Ka'an soldiers accepted modifications to their bodies which made them invulnerable. They fought to the last warrior. It was their efforts that drove Ort down into the bottom stratum. Ort sunk into the sea of magma, raw, and Mictlan regained the light it had lost. But the cost of victory was the entire kingdom of Ka'an. Now the remains of one of their cities have been repurposed into Chichen Itza. Not many Danos know that, though. Big Brother Tepu is probably the only one, and only because he figured it out on his own. So that's the Khan soldier's story. Yeah, right? It was weird we were fighting human skeletons. Those soldiers enhanced their bodies to last for 6 million years, and now they stay intact even in death. No wonder those dead spirits were so tired and full of regret. Xquic, did no one from Ka'an survive? Was every last one of them wiped out? Well, I think Camazotz might be one. Oh no, one of them is still alive. The king of Ka'an, who dealt Ort the finishing blow 6 million years ago after losing all of his people, is alive today. His modified body ended up so strong that he is no longer able to die. In the 6 million years since, here we go, he went insane and began to fly around the underworld, a bat of death. He's still out there even now. That brave king's name is Camazotz, the maddened king who continues to search for the people of Ka'an, though they no longer exist. Yeah, okay. That explains a bit. That explains a bit. Boy. Big lore drops. I love it. Okay, so a berserker. Is this just gonna be mad Danos? Probably. Some Danos going crazy. Honestly, if it's that, let's go with filter. We want what am I looking for? Ignore invincible. Sure. I'll give you instead also ignore invincible with Buster up. Okay. Sure. Actually, we could probably just do that, and we'll just switch you off for a cheaper bond. There we go. Anyone else? Sure. Okay. Works for me. Let's do this. Just a Danos to beat up. Works for me, probably. Watch it be something else. Just another random encounter with something crazy. Nope. Jungle iguana. Let's go. A little bit of this. And then up. And then up, up, up. See, we're picking her because she represents notes. It all works out. Right? Look at this. Notes real, notes real. Just go. Alright. Punch through. Good damage. Do you two do similar kicks now that I look at it? Huh. Okay. 2 of 2, 3 enemies remaining. Like, yeah. Oh, I could have actually used that there to do more, huh? Didn't think about that. Anyways, goodbye. Get Luminud. I do wonder if her final ascension has different animations. Because I have no idea what sets her final, like why her final one is so... I think it's another locked away one, right? I wonder. I wonder. Good stuff, team. I will summon her. I'm still standing by that, of course. It's going to be a little longer before I show you what Daybit is up to. Would you mind waiting outside? Oh, then could I ask you to neutralize the mindless Danos walking around the dome? The scent of the magui and pulk we use in the ritual tends to attract them, you see. The what and the what? You're just saying words, buddy. Okay, we finished chasing all the mindless Danos that were near the dome back into the jungle around the base. Now we just have to wait for Tepu to come let us know when Xquic is ready. Gotcha. I'll just have to go take a little break in the shade. I want to make sure I have everything we learned straight. I'm gonna go back to my base form too. I've been out a lot lately, so I should try to conserve my magical energy. Sounds like you could all use a little break. Since we have a lovely lake right here, would you like to go swimming? Can you breathe underwater, Kukulkan? Huh? Why would you even ask? Of course I can. On land, underwater, in outer space, I'm fine anywhere. What about you, Nita Chris? You probably went swimming in the river now. Huh? Oh, Nita Chris went back up to the dome. She said there was something she wanted to ask Xquic. Oh, I see. Xquic is really knowledgeable, so I'm sure she'll get the answer she's looking for. Oh, speaking of Xquic, that reminds me. Using proper human history terms, do you think Tepu and Xquic are married or lovers or something along those lines? Oh my, got a bit of a curious side to you, Nash. Do you really want to know? I don't mean anything by it. I was just thinking, it'd be nice if that was the case. I agree it would be, but those two will always just be friends. As much as Xquic may look like a Danos, the truth is she isn't. She'll never be able to live among peers, be involved with them, or be freed from her duties. Her job is to look over, no, to supervise all the Mictlan. It's been that way since she was born and will continue to be so till she dies. She'll never be able to leave Mictlan, no matter what. At first, Tepu refused to accept that, and he looked for a way to free Xquic, but it was no use. Before, I couldn't imagine why he chose to move to the first stratum on his own. But now that I have a human form, I think I understand. Knowing that he'd failed to save Xquic, Tepu couldn't allow himself a happy life. So he moved all the way to the edge of the world to be alone. There he studied the concept of death. As a way to punish himself. Concept of death? Why that? It's not my place to say. Not while my own maidenly heart is still actively maturing. Growing up. Speaking of which, Kukulkan, there's something we've been wondering about. Did you, always look the way you do now? The dinosaurs are Mictlan's dominant species. Since you're their god, shouldn't you look like one yourself? Are you saying I lack common sense? Just kidding. Don't worry, I'm not mad. I still don't really get common sense or feelings, but I at least know they're important. Anyway, yes, I am a god and I did originate here in Mictlan, but this form is something I only recently gained. Before that, I was just the teachings of the sun, a wind only the Danos could sense. A year ago, when knowledge of proper human history first came to Mictlan, we learned of gods. That's when the sound Kukulkan formed the name of a god. That was the instant in which I gained this form. All of a sudden, things that couldn't be seen had a shape. Things that could only be sensed could now be spoken of as a fact. For us, the shock was big enough to rock the world to its foundations. Gods can only be born from intelligent humanoid beings, so that's what they should be too. And just like that, I was tossed out into Chichen Itza. Stark naked! Naked? Yes, at the time I didn't have any emotions, so I just started talking to the priest as I was. It wasn't long before I realized it didn't quite feel right, and I might be doing something inappropriate. So I absorbed all of proper human history's common sense in one go, then stole some clothes from the Danos standing closest to me. Which was Tepu, by the way. Oh, he'd already retired to the first stratum by that point, but he'd always listened to me closely back when we were still just wind. I see, I can imagine what you're like back then. And from there, you ran straight to Mexico City high fashion, right? I'm trying really hard to forget the whole thing, so don't ask Tepu about it. Anyway, that's how I ended up in human form, one based off the Kukulkan from proper human history. Shikishan archetype who will forever remain mentally 1 year old. But I am a god, and am actually just 1 year old. After that, I found that snot-nosed young Tezcatlipoca riding a Danos and playing king near Chichen Itza, and made him its actual king. Then I ran off to Mexico City to spend all my time having fun experiencing all the latest culture, yes? I see, so you wanted to try life in the big city. I can definitely understand that. If I had been in your position, I could see myself sneaking out of Chaldia Base and paying a visit to the nearest town of Ushuaia myself. But, never mind that now. Putting together everything you've told us, it sounds like you're not actually a Danos god. Instead, you were born from the Maya, Mictlan's creators, and you serve as their representative. Does that mean you're actually archetype Mictlan, then? Yeah, if we consider a meteorite a planet of its own, then it could have had a mind of its own. That's right. Which is why Shikishi and I got along so well. She looked like that, huh? She had a look of, and then she's lying. She's basically archetype Meta-Earth. Oh. So she knows what it's like to fail to become the archetype you wanted to be. Huh. You want to know how Kamazots turn servants into guardians of the underworld? They're like stuff in the air, got the stank going on, yeah. Yes, a command spell alone should not have been enough to cause complete alterization. There must be something more to it, some secret or ritual that transforms their very existence and binds their life force. Shikish, you said you observed everything that's taking place in Mictlan, so if anyone can answer my question, it's you. What did Kamazots do to them? How can I become a guardian of the underworld myself? I see, so you think you need to do the same. Alright, I'll tell you what I saw. I'll tell you how those proper human history heroic spirits, each of whom already had their own underworld to begin with, were assigned to the levels of the underworld and became altar gods of Mictlan. And it's happening off screen. Great. That's what I love to see. Better not hide it for us to like super duper long. Okay. No battles. Big story time. Yeah, I'm feeling a little dizzy. What is this stuff? Thank you for waiting, everyone. I'm ready to begin the Popol ritual. Normally I can see everything from Mictlan's second stratum to its 8, but Daybit has been the exception. Whenever I try to observe him from here, all I would see is deep darkness. He was there, yet not quite. Present, yet unseeable. It was like observing an empty cavern with extremely low atomic density, completely devoid of matter. Cavern devoid of matter. Like the supervoids found in the large-scale structure of the universe? What are you talking about? Does this mean David is wearing some kind of filter that makes him normally visible when he's in front of you, but also cloaks him in darkness when viewed from a distance? So even as an observer, I haven't been able to witness his actions. The only ones who know what David has been up to are David himself and Mictlan's own time. So to answer your question, I'm going to have you view that time itself. Oh my god, what are we doing? His scent is the Popol, a ritual that connects your minds to Mictlan's. I've set it to begin with Mictlan from 1 year ago. Please close your eyes and let your body feel the intoxication. With this ritual, to the maximum extent possible, you should be able to vicariously experience everything David did in the year since he spoke with me. We are getting the craziest high mixed with mushrooms and possibly like worms. The sun disappeared, but it returned to Mictlan's sky 100,000 years ago. Impressive. I didn't think the Maya would take such extreme measures. There's no logical reason to favor this underground world so heavily, so they're clearly not operating on logic anymore. I guess this is their way of apologizing to all the life forms they let go extinct in proper human history. Thank you, Xquic. Is there anything you need? If there is, I'll get it for you. No? Okay, this is goodbye. I repaired the sluice. You should hire some small Danos to maintain it, or it'll eventually fall apart again. He's so weird. So you're the Cryptor, and I see you're all alone. Did you really think you could cross this fourth underworld and Mictlan's space tree all by yourself, without so much as a guide? Yes, exactly. That's exactly how a human should be. There is nothing better or more fitting than being alone. When you're alone, you don't have to protect anyone else. As long as you're strong, you don't need to care about anyone either. But you should curse me. You should loathe Mictlan. For long as I, Camazotz, am here, no one will ever reach the ninth stratum. He just popped a command spell right away. Huh. Well, yeah, he was missing one. People told me that, but... Did you want to keep going, Camazotz? I've got 2 more of those in me. Now, let's end it here. Your blood is absolutely revolting. Only a hero can defeat a hero. I admit it. You do have the right to enter Calakmul. But I won't let you enter for free, Cryptor Daybit Void. I want to know about your mythology. Tell me about it. I'm a creature of Mictlan, of a mythology that defeated Ort 6 million years ago, and that everyone's forgotten today. Proper human history mythology, Lostbelt mythology. I don't care which one is superior. I just want to know about them. I want to know if I existed in your world too. Kind of. I mean, you have a name that we recognize, and we know you're a bat, so... Where the frick are we? So this is it. I finally made it. As I thought, Ord is dead, but only because it ran out of fuel. I used lots of high-quality magical circuits to close its wounds. It'll start up again in no time. Still, Xquic said the cosmic rays emitted from the bottom stratum would stop in a year, which would then be followed by a period of underworld pilgrimage. I won't be able to come here for another year. I'll need to use that time to make sure I'm ready. So I better summon a servant. Lostbelt or not, this is still Mictlan. Should be more than enough in the way of catalysts. Even if I don't count as part of humanity. What are you? What are you? I can still summon a servant, the power of the land itself. A servant who will respond to my call, who's unconcerned with good and evil, but who still approves of war. I've got it. You'll be the one to help me, almighty Tezcatlipoca. Oh man, I can't believe it. You actually just made a human body to possess just to answer that guy's summons? Is he really that interesting? Looks like you and I are both still way too lenient in our trial judgments. Oh, whatever. If you're gonna back that guy, then I'll go back my own allies. Whichever one of us will survive will all be down to luck. See you later, Black Tezcatlipoca. Good luck using knowledge from proper human history to become supreme in Mictlan. The summon, but the 2 versions, yep. Hey there, brother. How do you like my Mexico City? It's actually got a different name, but this is 2019. Gonna say it out loud, it's better to go with the most recent one. The name may be new, but it still looks like an ancient Aztec city. Why don't you make any modern buildings? That was the one thing she refused to compromise on. As your big brother. Who am I to say no? Anyway, the Acelamen are all set to go. Though they'll still need firearms to kill the Danos. Right now I'm just leasing some from Koi and Skya, but it won't take long for me to spin up my new production line. I'll make sure all the Acelamen have the latest in weapons technology. If something can be done, you can do it. Almighty God indeed. The only thing you're missing is a rival. I'm sorry I couldn't chain summon Quetzalcoatl while I was at it. Was that supposed to be a joke? Knock it off. You know it'd be all out war if Lady Birdbrain was here. But at least I found someone else I could enjoy playing with in the meantime. A Mictlan made Kukulkan. Daybit, I've created an underground path to Ort. We can use Danos hearts to supply with energy. In a year, its wounds will have more than closed up. I've also made my last candidate. I'll have him turn into me over the course of the next year. You're literally Xehanorting him. We'll also be Tezcatlipoca in a year's time, huh? Understood. Make sure you train him well in both body and mind. We'll need a clear mind, a clear will, and strong ideology if we're going to give Ort orders. You're going to try and give Ort orders? How the frick are you doing that? So we will spend this year furthering our goal of destroying this planet and erasing any trace of humankind. What about the other cryptors? Isn't your plan at odds with this foreign god's goals? I don't care. If Wodheim wins, the other Lostbelts would disappear and us with them. So there's no issue with that. I'm here to fulfill my obligations, nothing more. If you have any objections, now's time to voice them to Tezcatlipoca. It's not too late to change the plan. Objections? Hardly. Your idea's awesome. I always wanted to see the end of an entire planet. Alright, Sam. We have our very own war, annihilation, and banquet to begin. Let's get started. Huh. I'm just like rubbing my chin thinking about what are we doing? Because we're not there yet, right? We're still learning info. Anyways, is our crazy peyote trip still continuing? No, we're out. Okay, let's just make sure we all saw the same thing there. It was Gordolf in a thong, and he was like, right? And we're all like, ooh, no. And she's like, oh, shit, I think I thought the wrong thing. I saw Daybit making an underworld pilgrimage all on his own, finding Ort's body in Mictlan's bottom stratum. I saw him talking to Tezcatlipoca about using Danos hearts to reactivate Ort, and I saw him planning to go back down to the bottom stratum and do that in a year's time, which would be now. Yeah, I saw the same thing, and he doesn't want to destroy Mictlan, he wants to destroy all the Earth. The poisonous gas that fills the 8th and bottom strata disappears once a year for just a few days at a time. Last year, Daybit managed to complete an underworld pilgrimage during those scant few days, and now that time is approaching again. It seems if we don't stop his second pilgrimage, Mictlan will completely collapse, and proper human history will disappear along with the entire planet. But why would he do something like that? If he destroys the Earth, he'll die with it. Yeah, the ritual didn't reveal why he's doing this. Yeah, that's not a problem I think we should be ignoring either. We know what he's doing, what his goal is, and where we need to go to stop him. That's a big step in the right direction. But at some point, we're gonna have to ask her why he wants to destroy Earth in the first place. Be that as it may, right now, stopping Daybit is our top priority. Kukulkan, Shikish, when will the poisonous gas in the 8th stratum clear? Kukulkan? There's like a noise for a second there. Like a radio sound almost. Yes, I'm sorry, I was a little lost in thought. I'm afraid I can't tell you the exact time the gas will dissipate. I can only say that it will happen in the next few days. That's okay. That's enough. Okay, we know Daybit has only one command spell left. He used one in the battle with Camazotz and another to activate his Catlipoca's noble phantasm in Mexico City. It probably means he was the last one to revive Ort. If we let him reach the bottom stratum again, it's over. Fortunately, the underworld is still closed off, and I'm sure the Danos will help us once we explain the situation to them. If they help us invade Mexico City, we can capture Daybit and stop him from reviving Ort. I agree. As long as we can convince the King of Dinosaurs, I'm certain they'll help us. This doesn't just concern proper human history. This is a battle to protect humanity with the Earth itself at stake. We want to stop Daybit and save humanity. You're very brave to go up against someone who fought Camazotz to a standstill. But there's no point in that if it gets you killed. Why not go back to Chichen Itza and wait to see what happens instead of risking your own necks? Maybe Daybit will fail. Maybe Ort will never wake up. And even if the world's destroyed, it won't be your fault. Why not relax and enjoy yourselves? I'm afraid we can't do that. If we don't protect the world... But isn't the destruction of worlds natural? We don't fight among ourselves. We don't struggle against how things are. We simply go with the flow, as you say. That's how we've been able to live peacefully for 66 million years. If the world is destroyed, that just means its time has come. I don't think humans have any right to interfere. Don't you agree, Big Brother Tepu? Fighting to protect the world just because you don't want to die is just selfish. Even wrong, isn't it? Even if the world is destroyed and all life dies out, that's not a tragedy. It's the natural order of things. All life is equal. No living thing is worth more than any other. Death comes for everything eventually, and nothing deserves preferential treatment. So no matter what happens or who dies, there's no need for such intense grief. As living beings, fighting out of a desire to protect someone or something is fundamentally wrong. I don't... That's strange. I was trying to cheer you all up, but it looks like I did the opposite. I'm sorry. I wish that had gone better. Oh, but you really don't need to worry about this too much. Even if Daybit doesn't wake Ort up, it won't be long before Mictlan ends anyway. Huh? What was that, Shikish? Huh? Did you not tell them, Big Brother Tepu? Mictlan's sun will soon reach critical Whoa! It will explode and wipe us all out after 10 more cycles. Mictlan's destruction is going to happen no matter what. Every Danos knows this. They were talking about how it's happening right away. Yeah, that was a thing that was dropped on us very lightly, and then, kind of like we were told that, and then not really seen, and then it's back. Yeah. Well, oh man, we are going to fragment 3. Oh, that's a twofer. We got a twofer there in Mexico City, which we will do next time. Am I like running out of time on these? I should probably actually do these. What else do we have? 2 days left. Endpoint summons, blazes. I can do that on my own there. All right, guys. I will see you all for the next part where we head into Mexico City. We will see you then for that, guys, for some more Fate Grand Order. Ciao. Yo.